Hello, my name is Susan Rushton, as you probably know. That's what it said at the beginning. This is Muse. This is the show on which I'm thrilled to, I'm delighted to, I'm happy to, I'm encouraged to, I encourage myself to talk to people who are lured by the muses. So that's why I call it Muse. So my guest today is this is not his first time with me. This was the first time was maybe 15 years ago. And this is Dave Lawrenson, my favorite Placer High music teacher.
I'm the only Placer High music teacher.
I know, you're the only, which is strange and wonderful at the same time. I'm thrilled that you are the music teacher, which means you teach singing, and what else do you teach?
So both concert and wind ensemble bands, which are classical concert bands, the jazz band, the marching bands, the drum line, the choir. We do honor bands. We do a number of other things as well.
You do what bands?
Honor bands. Those are when kids audition, whether it's
what
bands
are they
or
called?
choirs. Honor.
Honor
Honor
okay.
groups, honor bands and choirs. Kids audition and competing against people in the Sacramento area or the Northern California area, or in one case, the entire state of California, auditioning against all those kids on a preset set of music to see whether they're, in essence, better than everybody else and get into a band.
Have they ever been better than anybody else?
They've often been better than everybody else.
Often do better than anybody else.
Yeah.
Often they do better than anybody else. I am not surprised.
They work hard.
Yes, so do you. So do you. So you haven't been teaching forever.
It feels that way.
I know it feels that way. But what drew you to playing music? When did you start?
Well, I started in 4th grade. I started playing clarinet in 4th grade. That's where I grew up in Newtown, Connecticut, and that's where when we started. And so I played through elementary school, middle school, high school, went to the University of Puget Sound playing. So I've played what feels like my entire life.
Sure. Yes.
So.
Were your parents musical?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Dad played a great stereo.
So he listened to music.
Yeah, and they've always been purveyors of music. My dad still goes to at least one musical a month.
A month.
A month.
My goodness, my husband would never do that.
Well,
he does it once a month.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
Yeah, they're Dad's in the Phoenix area, so there's a lot of arts there. And when Mom was still alive, they supported the orchestras and the operas and everything that was there. And he still does that.
And so they were listeners. They were part of.
They were classical music lovers.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they listened. They were part of the people out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I grew up in the house listening to Bach and Mozart and Beethoven and all that kind of stuff. Not that my parents understood it at all,
no, but they
enjoyed listening to it. And isn't that really the point? I mean, you don't have to be a musician to understand and love music.
No.
You have to be open to what it has to offer. You know, the trip, the enjoyment of getting lost in music, you know.
And so they did. Get lost in music.
They did, absolutely.
Just even though they couldn't play.
Couldn't play, not a bit.
They couldn't play. They loved it.
They loved it.
And that's what you as a musician are supposed to do, is make listeners thrilled.
Yeah, but I think also that as a musician, you actually owe it to yourself to love the music yourself.
Oh yes.
I mean, that's.
Oh yeah.
I've had more enjoyment during rehearsals than performances of music. When you're playing in a group or you're directing, as I do often.
Yes. Yes, he often directs.
Those moments that you have. with your compadres making great music. And often that happens in the rehearsal room because there's no stress. You know, there's no audience, there's no one paying or anything else to listen. And so that moment of just involving yourself, wrapping yourself up in the music that you're making with other people.
Gives you chills?
Yeah, it's the moment.
Yeah.
The best compliment I ever give kids, I say, oh, look, the hair on my arm is standing up. And they go, we got it, we did it. And I'm like, yeah, you did. You did it. You made the hair on my arm stand up. It was that kind of moment. Yeah.
What a kick.
Yeah.
What a kick, and what a kick to say that, and what a kick also to hear it from you. Oh my, that's just thrilling. And you know that when my husband and I are at the Placer High Music Boosters thing at
The crab feed.
the crab feed
Yes.
at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
or sort of near April or March or
Yep.
whatever.
Second weekend of March, Saturday, Music Boosters Crab Feed. Be there.
Second weekend in March. Thank you. I get chills listening to the
jazz band?
Oh yeah, yes. And then I start talking to them, and then I get chills all over again. Oh my! So, that's what drew you to playing music, and so you figured I'm gonna teach it as well.
Yeah, I think I had a great high school teacher, Mr. Joseph P. Grasso, who recently passed away, but phenomenal teacher and human being. And so I realized what he did, and I thought to myself, as I wanted the journey through music, what did I want to do? Did I want to perform? Did I want to be a musicologist? Did I want to be a music librarian or whatever? And at the time, this is way before we had all the electronic manipulations and all that kind of thing. And so I really thought, what do I want to do in this? I love music. I admire these people who have been teaching it. I think that's what I want to do. So
Yeah.
I knew by the time I had applied for colleges that what I really wanted to do was become a music teacher.
Okay. And why did you appreciate that teacher who no longer is around, but still in your head and heart?
Yeah, he is.
And fingers and breath.
Okay, so I have a belief that good music teachers and good music programs are almost a cult of personality. Just like a great coach
They're all
can
a
bring
cult of personality.
cult of personalities. Just like a great coach can get kids to want to play for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think a great music teacher can get kids wanting to be there and be involved. And I've seen that over and over. And I think that you have to have an organization that has a sense of family. They have to learn how to play well. Because you can't.
And they want to.
They want to
Yeah.
play. They want to play well. They want to take what's offered to them and do what they can with it. But I think also that it's. I endeavor to teach much more than music. I try to make young people into wonderful young adults. My students, if they stay with me for 4 years, they could take 25% of their high school time with me. And I think that if I'm just teaching them how to play clarinet or trumpet or flute or to sing a part, that I'm doing a disservice to the time that they're giving me. So giving them opportunities, taking them on trips, maybe taking them on their first airplane, ride when we go on our spring trips, getting them out of state, getting them to perform live, and they're scared to death to even say their name out loud.
Oh yeah.
Bringing young people to a better place in their lives. High school is a time of growth. That 14 to 18 is such an incredible time of growth, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to be kind of a tour guide that gives them the opportunities to grow and become, to maximize their potential, right? you know, and so I give them opportunities, these honor band auditions, to go out and play in different places. We go to contests, we go on trips, we do the marching band, we do jazz band if they want, we do solos, we do all kinds of things that allow them to explore their potential and who they are, and to get those kids who have complete and utter fear of everything, right? You know, oh, you don't have fear of anything.
I used to.
Okay. I don't see that now.
I want to go on a tangent and come back to this.
Okay.
I grew up in a musical household. Everybody but me left that house knowing how to count.
Okay.
I left not knowing how to count, being convinced that I could never do it. But I can. We have a piano, and I can. Oh, there's another one. Oh, okay. But I can't. Everybody. I'm the oldest, and the three younger people that my parents had, well, my brothers and sister, they all are musical,
Mm-hmm.
deeply musical. I'm a good listener, but if I had done what you are suggesting that kids do, I probably wouldn't have met my husband.
Well,
so, but I'm a good listener.
right.
I'm a wonderful listener.
And I would say that a good percentage, maybe 75% of the students that I have, don't use the skills, the musical skills that they have learned. They don't use after high school. We certainly have lots of success stories. I have former students who are now music teachers. I have one that owns his own mouthpiece manufacturing company. Matthew Yee just got into the United States Coast Guard Band.
Oh boy!
So there are a lot of them who have used their skills. They continue to play, but there's quite a number who don't. They stop singing. They stop playing. They just don't do that in college. And but it's fun for them because like I got a phone call about a month ago from a student who I had up in Washington in Yelm. And she said, I just wanted to know that my son is now playing in the Yelm High School band that you used to direct. And we talk about it all the time, and his experience is so different than mine. I wish you were still here. But I think that it's the experience that they have and the growth that they have as human beings that is more important than necessarily their growth as a musician. Yeah, they may not use it. But, you know, again, that kid who just gave their entire life to football is probably not going to play after high school either.
True.
The kid who you know played volleyball aggressively year round may play a year or two of maybe community college or something, but probably won't play again.
Yeah. And may not ever see a volleyball thing.
Exactly.
Again.
And appreciate, but my kids will go and listen to music, and they appreciate music, right?
And they know what to listen for, and they know what good means.
They know what good and bad is, and they can appreciate the good, even if it's a type of music. Maybe they're really into country or rap, but they can go listen to the Auburn Symphony and then go, you know, that was really good. I really enjoyed the performance and the compositions of those pieces of music, right?
Is that what they have said to you?
Yeah, a number of them go, you know, but it's. You know, to me, what I try to do is teach a comprehensive program which includes them as human beings. What can I give them that will make them better human beings? Not just, can you play the scale on flute or whatever it happens to be. So,
how do you know that they are what you want them to be?
Sometimes I don't. And sometimes it takes years before I see them again. And they're successful, and they thank me, and they tell me how much it meant, and how they use the things that I said. You know, whatever the little phrase I said. You know, like one of my favorites is to be on time is to be late, and to be early is to be on time.
Okay.
And so just teaching them that you get there early and you get there prepared, and you don't walk in late, or you don't, you know, whatever it happens to be. And a lot of them will remember that later in life. And they go to a job interview and they're early. and they get the job.
Yeah.
Or whatever it happens to be, right?
Whether
so
either it might be music and it might not be.
that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, life lessons that can be used not just musically, but throughout their life in every action that they take.
So you're not just teaching music. You're teaching living,
I think so. Life skills.
life skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
How to be a better human being 101.
Okay. What's the hardest thing about teaching music?
I think the hardest thing about teaching music is kids who don't get it. Kids who, for whatever reason, just don't understand what I'm trying to offer. And that makes me sad. And that's the hardest thing.
And so that person, those people don't come back the next month.
Typically, they don't come
Yeah.
back for the next class. They don't come back the next year. They just don't come back because they don't get it. They don't want to buy in. They don't want to be part of the program.
Because you're so old.
I don't think.
No?
Well, you know,
And
by
which I mean that somebody who's 16 or 15 thinks that somebody who is 60
doesn't know anything.
doesn't. Yeah, you can't
No.
tell me anything.
No. You know, I here's another one of my little things that no one can give you wisdom. You have to experience life in order to get wisdom, right?
Uh-huh.
And so a 16-year-old, as you were using an example, doesn't have a lot of wisdom. But they're going to make choices based on the environment that they live in and what they think is important. And that's frustrating because you're trying to get a young person to be better than they are.
Yeah.
And when they think they're...
And that's gonna... I'm sorry, go
No,
ahead.
it's when they think they're already perfect and great, then they don't have anywhere to go.
Oh, God.
You know? And then you're dead in the water because they, you know...
You're going to make mistakes, no matter how old you are.
Yeah, which is tough. But,
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that's the hardest part. It's not making the music, it's not going to contests, it's not fundraising, it's not dealing with administration, it's not any of those things. It's just, the hardest things are when you just can't quite get through to students. That's hard.
Okay.
Yeah. To me, that's failure. It's not going to a contest or getting a poor grade or none of that kind of stuff, you know, or, you know, whatever. You're on the football field and they all run into each other. That would kind of be amusing.
That happens at the beginning. But not at the
it's because everything's a growth, right? Everything's a learning. You know, you don't expect the basketball play to always work, and you don't expect the ball. I mean, a baseball player, if they hit 300, you know, they
Whoa.
safely hit 3 out of 10 times. Now, if a musician safely played 3 notes out of 10 correctly,
oh dear.
nobody would want to listen to them. I mean, nobody would want to listen to that. And so it's, you know, there's a higher level of skill that's needed, but it's always going to be getting there.
Yeah.
You know, the last concert of the year is always better than the first concert of the year. It should be, because we've progressed, we've learned.
Yes.
You know, the seniors are going to be better than the freshmen as a rule, because they've been doing it long enough.
And still, every time I talk to a person who's dealing with music, we agree that you're bound to make a mistake.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
there it is, but you can't pay attention to it because there's this next one and next note and next note.
And if you focus on what you've done already, there's no energy to deal with what's coming.
Yeah.
And that's really every musician in a performance situation is aware of how they're doing. And you make that first mistake and you go, okay, well, let's see what we can do to make up for that.
Yes.
Right? But if you dwell on it, all you're going to do is continue to make mistakes.
Right.
You know?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and I shouldn't dwell on my own mistakes because I'm just gonna.
I try not to dwell on mine.
Yes. So we may have heard this from you, and we may not have heard it from you, but even if we have, what's the best thing about teaching music?
Seeing the kids know that they maximize their potential.
Okay.
That could be on graduation day, that could be on a performance, that could be on a rehearsal, that could be a fundraiser where they didn't think they could sell any, whatever it is we're selling, and they sell 100 of them. Seeing the joy in the students' eyes when they have reached their potential and goal. That's the greatest part. That's the greatest reward. And then seeing them years later. I mean, attending students' weddings is wonderful. Running into
So they invite you.
Some of them.
Some of them. And
yeah, some of them I never see after graduation.
Yeah. But how nice.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
How sweet that they invite you to their wedding. That's great. I'm tickled. So you have taught at Placer High since when?
So I started in the fall of 2006. So it's been 18 years. And a career total of 37 years.
Okay. And why did you come here? You were up in...
I was up in Washington. Had a great program and really developed it. My wife was finishing up her doctorate degree in community college administration, and she got a job at her first college alma mater, which was American River College, and so we decided to come down here so that she could take that position, which is great. Really proud of her. She's gone on to do great things. She's actually the president and superintendent of the Delta Community College School District, which is in Stockton.
Wow.
So she's doing a great job.
And she's going down there every day?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Brother.
It is what it is. But,
yeah.
But that's why I came. Her family is all from here as well. And so we came here and I started a new life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So who started the Music Boosters? Was it here before you were?
It was here before I was here. I think we've traced it back to the mid-90s that it started. And, obviously it was there when I got there in 2006. I think we've made it a bigger, broader organization. We certainly do more. The first year, the crab feed that I was involved in spring of 2007, we held was it at Placer? It was either at Placer or it was in the small building at the fairgrounds, and we only had 100 people.
I'm amazed.
For the event.
Oh, gee.
So, just in that, we serve 425 people now, and it's a much bigger thing.
Yes. If you haven't been there on the second Saturday
in March,
you need to try to get there. Oh, it's a fabulous place, and one of the reasons it's fabulous is that I don't know anybody else in there except you. There are people, there are parents and children and people I've never met. And there's so many events that we all go to, and we see all these people that we always see at all these events. I have seen some people that I've known, but not very many, which is different.
Yeah, and I would say that at least half of our guests are there routinely year after year after year, and that's the only time I see them is at the crab feed. And I always try to stop by and say thank you for being there. I always try to find you,
and you don't have to look very far.
And that's a wonderful feeling that people come back year after year. But you're right, our students and our parents are the ones doing the service. They're making the food and serving the food and cleaning up and all that kind of stuff, and the jazz band's there to play music, and the kids are intimately involved in the getting the stuff for the raffle that we do.
Oh, so, I can imagine. Yeah. Yes, you've got a ton of stuff.
Yeah, and the community has always been very, very generous with donations to help us do that.
I am not surprised. Yeah. I am not surprised.
Auburn's a good place.
Yes, Auburn is a good place. Yes. So, when you sometimes I can imagine, I'm changing the subject,
Okay.
not from music, but when you're in a group of people and you say that you teach music at Placer High, is there ever anything, "Psst, so what?" Not in front of you, but
No, I've never had that reaction.
Oh, good.
Our program is well known within the Sacramento area. We do a lot of things. Our drum line has been very successful in the last 10 years in the Northern California Band Directors Association.
I don't know what a drum line is.
A drum line is an indoor. It's a competitive thing. It's indoor. It's held on a basketball court indoors. There's the component that we call the pit, or the front ensemble, which is things like xylophones and marimbas and drum sets, and it can include basses and guitars and some other things, lots of cymbals, lots of things to hit. But those people are acting but not marching, and then you have another component out on the floor that are things like cymbals, bass drums, quints, which are the 5 drums that make different sounds, snare drums, sometimes some other things, who are marching while they play. And drumline is today it's called kind of a percussive arts. So imagine a theme of a show. 2 years ago we did a show called Backwards. And the things that we were doing were going forwards and then backwards, musically and
really?
the floor and the design of the uniforms and everything else. We were going forwards and backwards. There was a point where we started playing Beethoven's Ode to Joy, going way back, right? So there's always a theme. There might be a pirate theme, or there's tons of different
Now,
themes.
is this,
and it's competitive.
and are people welcome to come and watch?
Yeah.
How does one find out about these things?
I guess one looks at our website and finds the dates,
Okay.
or gets involved. Del Oro also has a drum line. So there's a lot. In fact, there's a competition held every year at Del Oro. But it is competitive. Last year we took 3rd place in our division. The year before we took 1st, and we won. We actually won every single competition that we were in, including the championships. So we do really well at that. And I can't even remember what you were talking about. Where that
Doesn't
question
matter.
went from.
Music.
Yeah, there we go. Music. but we're well known in the community. That's where we're at. We're well known in the community here. We're well known in the foothills. We're well known in the Sacramento area as a very well-rounded program. We get kids in the honor bands and in the honor choirs. We do well at our festivals. We do well when we're out of state doing festivals. And we're very professional with what we do. And so I think, when and if I leave, people are going to be flocking to the job because it's a great job, because we have a great program and a great community.
A great program and a great community.
Yep.
And I hope you stick around for a while. Yes, yes.
Not too much longer, please.
Oh, but you make me very happy,
Well, thank you.
and I am not unique. I know that for sure, which means that I'm not the only one you make happy. Oh my. So Dave Lawrenson, Placer High music teacher. He is the Placer High music teacher. In my high school, we had lots of people teaching music, and which means that lots of other students.
Right.
And yeah. But I wish they would have, and keep you. If you want to learn more about him, have any questions, DLAWRENS at puhsd.k12.ca.us. That you know that.
Hate that.
And you can find him if you look in the Placer High on your computer. Look for teachers. So, oh my, Dave, thank you very much for joining me again.
Thank you very much.
I've had a good time, and I'm very proud of you. And,
Well, thank
and I'm
you.
proud of me.
I'm proud of you too.
Good.
You've done a lot for Auburn.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
I've read your articles for years and years. I love them. It may be one of the things I'm most looking forward to in the paper.
Well, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And I thank you for watching. I'll see you again.